Hi, everyone. I'm Jess. I am so excited to be here with all of you today. We are doing a winter solstice celebration and we're channeling the 2026 spirit babies. And it's so funny because the 20 to 2025 spirit babies were like, hey, don't forget us. So if you've had little ones that were born between 2020 and 2025, they do have a message as they kind of send off to the next, group coming in. So we're going to talk with them, we're going to channel them, and I just wanted to explain a little bit about how it's going to go today. So first things first, you can turn off your cameras if you like. You can keep yourselves muted. That would be wonderful. We will have time to come on and off. We will be using our collective energy and channeling together. So just a reminder to be in a safe space, maybe close the doors and let your family know, not to be disturbed. But of course, if pets come in, if kids come in, this is life. So do what you need to do, right? I really believe in the ceremony can hold all of us in all the ways that we need to be. We're going to do a calling in of the directions. This is what I do before each of your sessions. And so you'll get to kind of experience what that's like. You might feel like the mood or the vibe shift a little bit. In that time, I'll welcome you in to call in your spirit babies, your ancestors, even your spirit babies who have returned to spirit, just so we can kind of have that collective energy. And then we're going to do a little download of messages. And then towards the end, we'll have time for questions. So if you have a question that you want to know about spirit babies or 2026 in general, my guides are kind of saying like we can open it up to beyond the babies because of course our life, our work, the planet, everything, supports that. But no personal questions, right? Just because it gets a little, there's so many of us here, there's so much energy, and that's what sessions are for. And excuse me, mediumship is a thirsty sport, as they say. Everyone on the call today is going to be entered to win a free session, so that's exciting. And then just for you guys, I'm also offering some discounted prices. So I'm offering sessions for 111 and 222, which were my previous prices. So I'll put that in a little wrap-up email for you. So if times are tough right now, if it's hard, if it's crazy, and you really still need that message, the Spirit Babies have offered that as a way to have something fun for January, right? So to start off the new year and get a little taste, especially if you're trying to conceive, I'd recommend it. Um, a little bit about me. So I probably know a lot of you, most of you, but if you don't know me, if you just came across my page or somebody shared this with me, my name is Jessica McKeown. I'm a spirit baby medium, and I've been doing this for about 8 years now, is what I want to say. And I will share a podcast in the wrap up email of my full story. But really long story short, I was doing a shamanic journey because I had started to see all these ghosts and spirits and needed some help to kind of figure out how to interact with the other side and the other worlds. And all these babies came to me and they were like, Jess, our parents need help understanding that it's not about these fertility things. It's not that they're that we can't come in because of, this, what, this, that, or the other. It's because there's this bigger picture, right? They wanted you to understand that, they have a say in their timing because, they were saying their moms were getting so distraught and trying so hard. And this baby was like, look, I'm coming in September, like I have a date in mind. And that really surprised me how much they knew. And the more that I've worked with the spirit baby realm, the more that I've worked with all of you, I've learned so much about what it takes to incarnate, how sometimes we don't always get a full life, as I like to say. Like a lot of times, a spirit baby, especially through like a miscarriage, a stillbirth, or even an abortion or a termination, that is their life, right? And there is messages and purpose just in that short time, right? We have this expectation that all babies will have this super long life, right? But that's not always true. Um, and so, with that said, they're like, you could go on and on about this. We're going to do a little bit of a grounding and connection. We'll open up the space for channel. You'll receive messages from your spirit babies, so they wanted me to guide you into that. We'll have some time for questions. And then we'll close the circle and kind of seal everything up. And then you can be on your merry way. So if you want to grab a notebook, a pen, a candle, anything else that makes you feel cozy and comfortable, secure your children and animals, bring them in, or, let them be, and we will begin. And please use the chat if things come up for you, if you have questions. You don't have to wait till the open forum to submit your questions. If you think of something, if you want to respond, if something inspires you, please do that. Okay. So, my beautiful darlings, come into your comfortable seat. Whatever that looks like today. Maybe you're lying down even. If you like, you can close your eyes or soften the gaze and come into this time that's just for you. Begin to call back your energy from all the places, people, interactions you've already had today. And let all those parts of self come home into this present moment. When you're ready, take a nice full breath into the low belly, filling up. And as you exhale, open the mouth and let it go with a deep sigh. As you breathe in again, fill up your heart space, your lungs, your upper back, expanding and opening the heart. As you exhale, softening the shoulders, letting go of any burdens or worries today. And as you breathe in again, take your breath all the way up the spine to the crown of the head, connecting and opening towards the divine. And as you exhale, softening the jaw. Good. And now we want to root down together. This is a big collective group. So we're going to drop our grounding cord. So from the base of your spine, imagine a cord dropping down through all the layers of your house, of your home, or wherever you are, through the floor, into the earth, sending this grounding cord all the way down, deeper and deeper into the earth. And then wrap it around something, a root, a crystal, a rock, a shell. Wrap it around 3 times, anchoring yourself fully into this moment. And now we're going to call in the directions. Spirit of the East, gatekeeper of the East, I honor you, I welcome you, I thank you for being here today, creating sacred space for the collective. Spirit of the South, gatekeeper of the South, I honor you, I welcome you, I thank you for being here today, creating sacred space for the collective. Spirit of the West, gatekeeper of the West, I welcome you, I honor you, I thank you for being here today, creating sacred space for the collective. Spirit of the North, gatekeeper of the North, I welcome you, I honor you, I thank you for being here today, creating sacred space for the collective. Pachamama, Mother Earth, I welcome you. I honor you. I thank you for being here today, creating sacred space for the collective. I ask permission to do this work on the seceded and occupied Duwamish land. Mother, Father, God, Grandmother Moon, Grandfather Sky, spirits who are healed and whole, I welcome you. I honor you. I thank you for being here today, creating sacred space for the collective. I welcome and call in my guides, Jesus Christ, Mother Mary, Medusa, Jebediah, and Geronimo. And I now ask the collective to welcome in their guides, their allies, their spirit babies, and their ancestors who are healed, whole, and awakened. To those spirits and entities who are not yet healed, whole, and awakened, we compassionately disinvite you. We ask that Archangel Michael sweep you up into his wings and take you into the light or to where you are needed most. To the Apu Mountains and the Salish Sea, to the birds and the bees and the wee folk, to the plants and the animals, the rivers, the valleys, the oceans, those seen and unseen, known and unknown, we welcome you. We honor you. We thank you for being here today, creating the most sacred space for the collective. And it is so. Aho. Okay. So you can gently begin to come back into this new space. I always love calling in the directions because I can come really hurried and frantic and, trying to get parking and do all the things. And then the minute I do that, it just shifts so beautifully. So I'm just shuffling some tarot cards for us. As you guys know, who have had sessions with me, oftentimes I will pull tarot. So I just wanted to wait till we do the blessing. And then I always ask permission to do work on the Duwamish land. Look who showed up, you guys, the Empress. Love her. Because that is my land acknowledgement, right? I am on Duwamish land, and I always like to honor the original people of the land whenever I do the work. Okay, so the spirit babies of 2025. So those are really the COVID babies. So maybe like late 2019 to right about the end of this year. The first message they kind of have, if you have children in that space, is have had children in that time or space, is they were the pathway changers. They were the ones that, made you move, made you change your job. Maybe you left a partner, maybe you found a new partner, right? They really kind of pushed the limits and really kind of brought us into this space of collectiveness. They're a really funny and rowdy bunch, is what they're showing me. So if you have kids that are under 5 right now, you know this. They're fearless, they're energetic, they really are moving towards this bigger collective energy, and they don't want to stand for the status quo, right? So a lot of things are falling and toppling now. I don't need to go into the politics of the world or wherever you are. You kind of know it, you see it. These little spirits are the ones who are ready for the rebuilding. They're ready for taking away all of this stuff and being like, let's go, let's move. So they're going to have a lot of energy. They're going to be, they need to be outside a lot. They need to be grounded a lot. They need to have grounding foods a lot. They might have a lot of big energy or big feelings. What do people call them now? Meltdowns. Oh my God, I love that word. So lots of meltdowns, right? Those kinds of things, because they're no longer standing for it, right? They're no longer willing to be okay with things, right? Like there's a time and a place where we've been like, okay, or this is all right, or we can do this. These babies are like, no, like they have uh, Spirit babies do swear, by the way, just so you know. Zero fucks given is what they say. Like they're so in this energy of like, change has been needed for so long, and we are here, and we are the ones that are the big change makers. These babies will do, they will start new businesses, they will start new industries, they will revolutionize industries, they will really change the game and the way that we look at things. Don't ever tell these kids that they can't do something because they'll be like, bet, like I will show you. So really encourage them in their spirit and their adventure. They're going to try a lot of things. They're going to be have to be comfortable with failure. So if you're a parent and you're not comfortable with failure, an invitation to get comfortable with failure, right? Invitation to teach them that failure is a part of progress, it's part of the process, it's part of learning. The more comfortable they can get, the faster they can learn and move through things. They've got a lot of energy. They've got a lot of passion and drive and excitement about things. And they just really want to say before they pass the baton to the next group coming in that those who are parenting them are of the same energy. You too are shapeshifters. You too are revolutionists. You too are ones who are no longer wanting to pass things down. This comes a lot up in lineage work. You know, a lot of the times the things stop with you, right? You're not passing on the money issues to your kids. You're not passing on the scarcity. You're not passing on the fear or the worry. You're not passing on the low self-worth, right? So everything that you feel deeply about how you want to care for these children, they're activating this within you to be like, okay, then mom, dad, like do it, right? Like they're calling you onto the carpet. They're asking you to stand on business. I love the kids. They're so funny, right? And they're because it's time, right? Like you're ready, they're ready. You're supposed to evolve. You're supposed to grow in this way. And these children who came in for you, part of their contracts, among many things, is for this evolution, right? You've been waiting for it. They've been waiting for it. The time is now. Use them as this inspiration to be like, how can I do things differently? How can I be different? How can I do that thing that I've always wanted to do, right? And you may not know how you're going to get there. The how is up to spirit. Just set your intention for this is the kind of life I want to live. You want to go live on a farm with animals? Hold that intention, right? You want to open up a new business? Hold that intention, right? You want to be closer and more connected to your family? Hold that intention. Um, so you'll start to like feel this energy. And the reason why they wanted to talk today, even though today's about the 2026 kids, is because some of their siblings will be from the in the 2026 energy and beyond. And so they also say like you're gonna have to parent them differently, right? And I was just thinking on the way over, I was like, yeah, you know, there's like this blanket parenting, or like, you know, if one kid's in soccer, then the other kid's in soccer because it's easier, it's convenient. You know, these ones are just like, no, right? Like somebody goes to soccer, somebody goes to ballet. This is where we need that community, the collective to help support this new way of being, which is really a return, right, in a way to this more community supported living. Make friends with your neighbors, make friends with your mom friends, make friends with your family, like really start to weave now your support systems. They can be all kinds, right? It's lovely if you have family close by, but you know, sometimes even our family isn't somebody we want to be with all the time or with our children all the time, right? So trusting that, you know, you can build this network to support you in the life you want for them. Okay, let's see if they have anything else to say. Um, they love being fiery, they love being passionate, they love being energetic. Um, and they don't really want that to be tamped out, right? They really want it to be supported and tended to. So see these little ones as your little fires, these little starters, this kind of beginning energy because they want you to feel loved and supported and know that they have chosen you to be their parent because you can guide them into this next way of living, this next way of being. Okay. Good. Everybody's good. Okay. Passing the baton. So, okay. So they want to do a tarot card. So their tarot card for all of us is the strength card. Um, Leo energy, fire energy. And this is really about this internal strength, right? This card is her balancing this internal strength. Um, it's going to be hard to parent these kids sometimes. They're not going to lie to like they're so like we know it's hard. We know it's pressing all your buttons. We know it's testing and pushing your limits. They want you to finally break free. They want you to move through and find this inner strength to go, I want to parent differently. I want to be a different kind of parent than maybe my own parents were, right? You know, sometimes they say we are born into the consciousness of our parents and then we evolve from there, right? So come into this place with them, find that inner strength. And as you parent them, you're going to realize like how much stronger you become as a person and how all along you guys have been working and weaving together this new sense of being. So they're just very sweet on that sense. Okay. See, they're chatty, you guys. They're like, mm-hmm. Now, the reason that I did the 2026 is because as I was channeling the spirit babies and started to meet some of the babies that are going to be born in 2026, talking to the realm, they had a very different vibe, right? They were a lot softer, a lot gentler, still passionate, still, you know, creative and funny and beautiful in all the ways. But I'm going to tap into this newer realm and I'm going to ask all of you to help me with that. So that if you are in the process of conceiving, or if you're thinking about another little one, or you're just here in loving and supportive community, we're going to collect all of our energies and tap into them. So if you like, you can again come into a more centered space and maybe just notice your body. Do you feel any warmth anywhere? I feel a lot of like warmth and like energy in my heart space. You know, do you feel any tingling sensations? Do you see any colors? Just do a quick body scan and notice what parts, if any, are really lighting up for you. And then imagine that there is a fire in the center of a circle that we're all sitting in. So even though we're on Zoom and we're in all different places, together we're coming into this space and we're holding hands. You can put one hand up and one hand down if you like this. You can rest your hands whatever way feels good to you. If you have somebody with you in the room, you can hold their hands. And coming into this circle together. Begin to open your heart space. Begin to welcome in your energy. Maybe you feel the energy of everyone else here in the circle. Look at us, we're all here to connect. How beautiful, how special, how magical. The fire in the center is roaring and burning. I picture us outside with stars above us on this winter solstice. And the reason why the 2026 babies chose today, of all days, is because they understand the darkness of this journey. They understand the countless appointments, the disappointments, the heartache, the heartbreak. This 2026 crew and beyond understands the shadow side of pregnancy, of birth, of motherhood, of fatherhood. They recognize and honor everything that comes with this decision to become a parent, to guide a soul on this planet. They honor and love all your humanness. They never ask for perfection, only authenticity. And so, as we welcome them in already with this message, asking your spirit baby to come forward to you now. This can be one you'd like to conceive, one that's returned to spirit, one that stays in spirit. And though it may not make its life with you on earth, it is still there for you. Welcoming them in. And again, noticing where you feel them in your body, if you sense colors, sensations, if you hear buzzing or feel a deep knowing. And here the spirit babies want to give you one word, a one word message without thinking or overthinking too hard. Bring your hands now into your heart space. They can be crossed over, they can be in prayer. And just receive that one word, the first word that comes. The words I'm hearing are love, trust, faith, joy, happiness, teacher, guide, mother, gold. Just receive that one word. And then when you're ready, gently release your hands. If you'd like, you can write it down or you can pop it in the chat. Oh, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. I love that. All right, let's get going. So 2026 crew. So after these really intense times, as I like to say, this next group coming in has a softer energy about them. So the first group kind of cleared the way, wasn't, kind of standing for anything, really kind of in that, like fearless energy. They've cleared the way. They've said no more, right? They've started to build. This group coming in has such a clean and clear palette, right? The space has been made for them to really bring in this soft, beautiful, healing energy. So a lot of the 2026ers, you guys, I need a better name. That's hard to say. We'll call them the new crew. That's what they like to be called. Because I'm like 2026 is hard to say for me when I'm channeling you guys. So the new crew, because this includes, from here to probably about the next 5 years till about 2030, they're saying. So in these next 5 years, this new crew has a softer energy, a healing energy. So deeply attuned to the planet, deeply attuned to plants, animals, humans. So if you think you can hide your emotions, try again. They're saying they're going to deeply know when you're upset. They're going to deeply know when you're worried or fearful or saying one thing but feeling another. They can definitely tap into that. And how they can, what they're showing me is they see these colors kind of fluctuating around you, and they know if you're angry. They know if you're worried. They also know if you're happy or joyful, or surprised or in love, and all those feelings. So lots of colors and lots of aura readers in this group is what they're showing me. And they really want you to know that now that you've done this work, now that you've cleared the way, whether you have a baby or not, you've been in this collective energy with all of us. You're kind of in this place of like, who am I now? And who do I want to be now? Right now that everything, this year of the snake, everything's been shedded, ripped away, let go of, right? We are left here in this vulnerable state, just like a new baby. And they want you to see 2026 coming into this New Year celebration, both at the New Year and then also in spring at the spring equinox, which they want to do a little event for us there. So lovely. Thank you. But even because the collective is so tied into this January 1st, letting this new year be this place of peace for you, right? Both internal and external, really understanding that your internal world reflects the external world. Um, One of the things I said earlier was that, they are very individual, but for the collective. So this, they gave me an example. So when I made the Yule blessing, I wanted to do this. Saw it. I was been wanting to do this for some time. I couldn't wait. I went out, I gathered things. I, had such a magical experience doing it. It was so fun. And I did it for myself, but it benefits the collective, right? So really thinking about what is something that's unique to you, something you love about yourself, something you've wanted to try, and letting the inspiration come from the inside and out to the outside. So in the past, right, when we saw the collective, we saw what was going on with politics, with COVID, with all the things going on, right? There was this external kind of stimulation, and then we responded from the internal, right? Now that the, slate has been cleared, it's returning to this internal connection, and then from there letting it come forward to the outside. So what do you want to create, right? What do you want to make? What do you want to do? How do you want to be? What do you want to change about your life? What do you want more of? What do you want less of? Really kind of being contemplative with these children and really thinking through. They're going to ask a lot of deep questions of you. They're going to be really curious about things. But you see how I'm talking now versus how I was talking with the 2025 kids? Much slower. What they're telling me is they may develop slower. So they may walk later, they may talk later, not to worry, they're saying they're taking their time. We've been in such a rush, we've been in such a grind, we've been in such a hustle, and these ones are coming in to really slow us down. So they're showing me like this little girl, like putting her socks and shoes on at the door. You cannot hurry these little ones, right? You have to take the time and the space to let them put their socks on, let them put their shoes on, let them gather their things before they go out, those kinds of things, right? They really want you to know that they need space, they need patience, they need time, they need gentleness, right? Because, thank you. They really want to be able to move slowly and in flow. And here you have this like really kind of light, feathery, kind of fairy energy, right? And then you have maybe their sibling who's like fire, fire, go, go, those kinds of things. My guys are saying, good luck with that. No, we won't leave you hanging. But really kind of understanding as their parent, right? You're kind of holding both, right? You're holding this energy, this fire, this movement, and you're holding this slowness, this flow, this patience, right? So having two children with those two different energies, you get to kind of be the magician, if you will, and kind of work both of those energies into this really harmonious flow, right? That is part of your work as parents and as humans on this planet because your children reflect a lot of the energy, right? There are these fiery people, there are these kind of slower, more peaceful people, and yet we all have to live together on this planet. We all have to figure this out, you know? And so they are kind of bringing the collective energy back into ourselves and being like, okay, how do I want to do this? How can I move through with fast energy and slow energy and make it harmonious? My word for the year, do you guys do words for the year? My word for 2026 is rhythm. It's come to me a couple different times. And it's like, that rhythm, that flow, that it sounds good. It's got a movement to it. That's the kind of vibe that I'm getting from them. They're moving. And so let your fiery kids be, part of the band that keeps everybody moving. Okay. So their card is the Five of Pentacles. And here's the thing. What they're showing me with that is we're so tired, right? We're so beat up, we're so forlorn. And this is a church with the lights on, you guys. And the idea is don't do it by yourself. Don't stay out in the cold. Go into those sanctuaries, go into those homes, those collectives, go to your friends, go to your therapists, go to your communities. We need to remember that there's a light on inside, right? They are reminding us that we need help, that we need to ask for help. Ooh, and for some of you, that's going to be really hard. So maybe what they're asking me to ask you guys right now is why is it so hard to ask for help? And what I hear from all of your hearts is because what if I don't get it? Right? What if I make the effort? What if I take the time? What if I show that vulnerability? Thank you. And the person, cancels on me or doesn't show up for me, or there's a history of them not showing up, or you've been in that place where you've had to pull it by your bootstraps and just do it all yourself. That's part of what's ending. We really can't continue as humans as such individuals. We are meant to be in collectives, we're meant to be in community, we're meant to be in togetherness. And so to really kind of drop the story that poor me, woe is me, I'm out here in the cold, because you're literally walking by this big light, right? This big, warm, cozy space. And what the spirit babies, talked about with Winter Solstice and honoring the darker, harder parts of parenthood, of conception, of grief and loss, if you've lost a baby, right, is that we are not alone. There's 26 people online right now. There's another 24 in spirit who are going to watch this, whose energies are here with us. Um, you have me, you have each other, there's so many great communities. You have your ancestors, you even have your spirit babies that you've connected with, right? So you have people. And the whole reason that I do this work is because I want to remind people that we are not alone. We have so much spiritual support. We have such a team of people rooting us on. Really wanting us to know that. So really kind of come into this place of I'm ready to ask for help. I'm ready to receive. I'm ready to look around and see who can help me. And if I have fears or worries about that, I'm ready to let those stories go, right? I'm ready to release them. Maybe as you burn something tonight on the eve of New Year's Eve of this year, just really release that you can't receive help, that nobody wants to help you, and really welcome in this love, this help, this community, because you're going to need it with these children. These children are so connected to community. They will draw you out. They will find friends for you. They will bring you into community. And it's really interesting what they're saying is, be a steward of that, right? Be the kind of person that you wish you had, right? Show up for things, right? The fact that you've all showed up here today, right, to be in support of one another is fantastic. You're already in that. And for those who couldn't make it because they have other things going on, we have limited time, you still committed, you signed up, you registered, you showed up. So show up is what they're saying to me. Show up for what you want in this life, who you want to be in this life. Um, And for them, right, you're the ones leading the way. They've chosen you because you're their guides on this journey, right? Eventually, you will launch them off and they will take off and do their own thing. But they'll always be your child. They'll always be connected to you. Hopefully, they always call you up and say, Mom, can I come over and do my laundry? No, right? They're always going to be a part of your soul family. But in these initial years, you really are raising them so that they can be who they came here to be, right? Um, okay, let's see what else they want to say. Um, for those who are calling in babies specifically, to really release any fear or worry that they're not coming. They've just been waiting for the right time, the right opportunity, the right moment in your life for the last 5 years, and any babies or changes that have come to really settle in to your bones, what they're saying to me, so that you can begin to be this new structure, this new version of yourself. Yeah. Let's see if they have anything else to say about that. They feel pretty good. They'd like to open up to questions now. And we'll do a little bit of that. So if I can just summarize, they, how do I want to say this? They have they have so much love and gratitude for you willing to call them in. They have so much respect for what it takes to bring them in. And they hope that you can really sense and feel how much they want to be here with you. Um, and to really know that they're just making me feel a lot. That there's just, they say there's a deep respect, a deep love for those who choose to parent us and guide us because we are unique and different. We have a different vision, and we need communities, parents, families to really hold us in a way so that we can fulfill this new vision. Um, and this new vision for 2026 and beyond, with these kiddos, especially as they come into age about 2032 at age 7 and beyond, is respecting nature, respecting the earth, respecting our communities. So there's a deep reverence within them. There's a deep honoring within them. There's a deep sensitivity, right? So they're showing me like if they see like trash on the side of the road, they might like cry. It might like upset them. Um, and it might be hard because, we're used to it. We see it. Oh, somebody else will pick that up. But they're kind of saying, let us be the ones that picks it up. Let us be the one that throws the trash away. Let us be the one that restores the earth. So this is why they come in slower, because your normal, regular routine of what you did and where you go will be deeply impacted by these ones who want to divert you onto new pathways, holding hands, as they say. I love that. Okay. Woo! Y'all, those babies. Okay, so let me take a couple of questions here. And if you have thoughts or questions from what was said, either about 2025 or 2026 and beyond, or if there's a curiosity about how to parent them or how to release things, put it in the chat and I will do that for about 15 or so minutes and then we'll kind of wrap up. Okay. Yay. Okay. Okay. So Sarah says, my mom made a hurtful comment recently about my body size and the risks with future pregnancy. Wondering what the spirit babies have to say about our bodies. First of all, I totally relate to that. And you can be pregnant at any size. and you can be healthy at any size and really kind of know that that is an individual personal journey. And probably what your mother is saying, if you can hear it without the story, is concern, right? There's concern and risk in anybody having a baby, right? No matter what size they are. And what the spirit babies ask is first, can you just hear that grandma loves you and is worried and concerned? The second layer to that is as women or people in female bodies, right? Like we are always scrutinized about our size and our shape. So she's attached to that collective energy of certain size, certain shape, health this, health that. It's an older model of health. It's an outdated view. And you can allow her to have that. You're not up to any responsibility to change the way she sees that or thinks that. But when it hurts inside of you, the spirit babies are asking for you to really tend to that, to tend to your own little inner child who got, called that name or got told that thing, and to really kind of love your body. So many times we have to, like especially after a loss of a miscarriage, right? Or a stillbirth or an abortion or termination, we lose trust with our bodies, right? And when I work with clients, they're like, I can feel that they don't trust their body, yet they're trying to get pregnant and they don't trust it to hold a pregnancy. So what I would say for you, Sarah, is to really double down on your self-love, your affirmations, your body wisdom, and knowing and filling yourself up with, I'm going to have a healthy pregnancy. That will motivate you to see the right people, to get the right medicines, to talk to the right, counselors, whatever it is that you need to be fully supported, right? Oftentimes we weave body image work in with our babies because it's so deeply tied to our image, right? How we feel, this whole idea of like bouncing back after pregnancy, right? And even if you don't think that, your bodies definitely change, right? And your organs move and things, prolapse and things shift around. And so there is this coming home and this honoring of your body, no matter what anybody says, right? That's that really kind of coming from within and seeing if you can hear it or see it in a way that, without all of her layers, deep down, there is this care for you to have a healthy pregnancy. But that is solely up to you and your baby and your partner or your donor. So you can really take that energy in, and say, thank you for your concern. I've got it covered, is what they're saying to me, right? I hear you. And what I'm hearing is you want to make sure I'm okay and healthy. I promise you that I am, right? I love my body. My body is beautiful. Filling yourself up, right? Even as you're putting on lotion or things like that, just filling yourself up every day or doing mirror work where you talk to the mirror and you're like, Sarah, you're beautiful. Sarah, your body's got this, right? It really does make a difference to the spirit babies that they come into this energy that you love and believe that you can hold this pregnancy, that you can have this pregnancy, that it will be healthy. Fear is always going to be on this journey, but you put it in its place, is what they say. Okay. Thank you for that. Um, okay. So I feel guilt for feeling discouraged on our journey, but my spirit baby has taught me so much in this season of waiting. What does she need from me to join us Earthside? Yes. So, um, they they understand that you're human. They understand that guilt is totally normal. And um, it would be like spiritual bypassing if you weren't. Like nobody's like, oh, the whole time, right? Like you're gonna be, even if you've never had anything happen, even if this is your first pregnancy, even if you've been waiting a long time, like nobody is like wholly perfect, is what they're saying. That's their job, right? They're wholly perfect. They're in that, divine energy. Let them be in that place of perfection, if you will. For my perfectionists, raise your hand. Um, and just and honor that guilt, right? And say, like, I recognize that I had some guilt, I felt discouraged, and I release it, right? Like, thank you for teaching me how to release guilt, right? Thank you for teaching me, how to move forward when I have these emotions. Because anybody ever heard of mom guilt? No, yeah, right. It's gonna come back. You're gonna feel guilty again, right? Like everything that happens before they're born is training, right? It's allowing you to go, okay, how do I move through this, right? So what does she need from you to join Earthside to really honor and recognize that you're totally human, that all emotions are welcome, all feelings are welcome. They're never like, oh, my mom felt guilty, so I'm not coming. Like they never do that, right? They want to be here with you so bad. And they want you to just honor, acknowledge that this is at times a really hard process. It can be really confusing. It can be really upending, they're saying. And not all of us have that type of journey, right? Some people just get pregnant just like that, and their harder parts come afterwards, right? Some of us have it before, during, and after, the intensity, we'll say. That's why they don't want to use the word hard because that people like that kind of throws people off. But there's an intensity right before, during, or after with them. And so they want you to really honor that you're human, they love you for it. And to just keep processing the emotions that come up. You can journal them, you can write about them, and let yourself be real, they're saying. Because if we try to press them down or ignore them or wish them away, they show up like 3 times bigger. Speaking from experience. Okay. Yes. So Jillian says, what messages and advice do the spirit babies have for those of us working on growing a different type of baby child? New entrepreneurial businesses started in 2025 and 2026. Love that. Okay. So they said similar energy to what they said about themselves as babies, but let your business come from that individual place, that individual passion, because we all came here with agreements, contracts, things we wanted to do for our soul to feel happy. So spending some time being like, what if I leave this planet tomorrow and I didn't do this? Right? I feel like really bad about it. What is it that you came here to do? What is it that you really want to do? From that place coming out into then how do I serve the community? Because if you're doing your soul's work, like I am right now, right? This is my literal soul's work. If you're doing that, you never work a day in your life. It's fun, it's exciting. I mean, yes, I have to still do taxes and all the things, right? I still have to, figure out things and send emails and whatnot, but it's fun, it's enjoyable, it comes from this like effervescent wellspring that is always feeding. It's never dry. You never have to look for, external, sources of inspiration because you've tapped into your own inner well. And then from there, you can serve the community as needed. So think about what it is that you love to do. What is it that you want to do? And from there, your community, your collective, how you'll serve will come forward from that. Cool, Jillian. I want to know what you want to do. Um, Naomi, hi, beautiful Jess. Thank you. Thank you so much for today. We all love you. So I love you guys so much. Like, I wish I could see you all in person, but this will do for now. I wonder what our 2020, see, I can't say that. 2026 spirit babies think of IVF and the medication that one takes in this process. Also, what they think of vaccinations in general when they arrive here, or maybe it's different for each spirit baby. Yes. Okay. So what they think of IVF and the medications. Yeah. So they say we have no problem with it, but you guys do. So whenever I work with somebody who's doing IVF and they're like, oh, so much injection, so much medication, all this kind of stuff, I always say to put your medication on an altar and bless it and thank it. Because if you're working with an IVF baby, if you're working on that pathway, it's for you, right? And if you are constantly having one foot in the I wish I could just naturally conceive, I wish I could do it this way, this way. I mean, some people just simply can't, right? For various reasons. So this is an opportunity for another way for them to come in, right? So we have this big quotes, they say natural conception, but there's IUI and there's IVF, and they call that supported, right? And so allow yourself to be supported, allow yourself to bless the medications. Um, let's see if they have anything to do for that. Not really, other than I was asking like if there's anything that they can like you can do to like counter it or offset any of of the thing with the medications, but the medications are there to help you. So they're saying just imbue them with your positivity, with your blessings, really kind of go into that space of like this is going to work for me, this is where I am. There's a big message here of acceptance with IVF, right? I always tell clients, like, don't do IVF if you don't believe in it because it's just a waste of your time and money. You have to believe that this is the way that they'll come in and to really separate and release anything about this not being natural because they're saying, of course it is. You make a baby. I'm as natural as can be, right? So they really hold that. Um, what do they think of vaccinations in general? Or, yeah. Um, what do you guys think of vaccinations? They're saying as needed, right? So some people choose not to do that, but then they want you to think about the impact on the collective, right? And the deeper question is, what don't you trust about these medicines? What don't you trust about the evolution of science? And to remember that many of these scientists have come into a place to preserve life, to extend life, to protect us from things. So there may be a bit of fear or worry about that, right? So they really want you to ask yourself, each family, right? But to me, what I'm hearing is that we have a responsibility because we all live here together, right? And these are some of them are like communicable diseases. And so it is important to really consider that as you make that choice. They, they're accepting of whatever your choice is because you are their parent and you are guiding them on this. Some people don't vaccinate. They're okay with that. Some people, do. They're okay with that, right? It's really what feels good in your heart. Thank you. And to make that decision based on deep knowledge, research, understanding, and without any fear. And they always say that. They always want you to make empowered choices. Whatever you do on this journey, make sure it comes from this place of this is what I know and want to do because we can't get rid of people who don't want to vaccinate. We can't get rid of people who do want to vaccinate. Like we're all coexisting together, right? We can advocate for what we believe. We can educate, we can talk about those kinds of things. That's what we're here. We're here to have those discussions and to better understand what it is that we're all doing, right? Partly because we no longer always go with the status quo. It is time to question and understand them. But even things like they say certain ones cause autism, they say that's not true, right? They really want to kind of break away any fear mongering or any control around it and to really get deep down into why it is that you do or do not want to do that. Yes. Okay. Oh gosh, I have to watch the time. Okay. What messages or advice do the spirit babies have for parents who are not aligned on having another child? Oh, like one parent wants one and one and then one doesn't. Is that am I okay? Child's okay. Mm, kind of like they're kind of like it takes two to tango, right? Like as much as you may want another child, if your partner isn't aligned or isn't ready yet, that will affect their incarnation. They always check in with everybody to see how everybody is doing. And they're saying, you have to respect that where they are, and to have conversations around what it is that, thank you, that could maybe get you more aligned. Because sometimes it's like, I'm really busy at work, or kids are expensive, or just all the like list of things. A lot of times those are excuses. A lot of times those are fears. A lot of times those are things that are just getting in the way. And sometimes they're not. Sometimes, somebody's like, hey, this is good. I have capacity. I still want to have, time with you or with the kids that we already do have. And to what I'm hearing from them is to really hear each other out and to really hear why your partner isn't aligned and to really see and understand from their perspective. A lot of times there may be grief in that acceptance, there may be heartbreak in that acceptance. They want you to know that spirit babies can come back as grandchildren, which is so fun. So you might have a really deep connection to a grandchild. Or they will meet you in the next life, right? We often have more spirit babies around us than actually ever come in. And it can be sometimes hard when you're connecting with them to feel like, gotta bring every single one in, right? But sometimes that the simply knowing of them, this baby might be working with you and your partner on how can we just be more aligned in general, right? How can we talk about the things that we want and hear each other out and compromise in general, right? Partnership is about compromise, right? And it's really respecting what each of you need to be the best parent, but also the best person, right? Because you came here with your own dreams, wishes, and goals as well. And we can't get lost in parenthood. So we have to remember that we need to remember who we are as well. So having that conversation, seeing what's getting in the way of alignment, and then seeing from that if there can be solutions around, bringing in more money or getting more help or moving closer to family, whatever it is, right? See if you can be solution oriented. I love that. Okay. Okay. Okay, so Molly says, hoping to call in another baby in the new year. Our two Ursay babies were conceived with a trigger shot after three miscarriages, all conceived with less medical intervention. Hoping to try this time without more medical intervention, but wondering what spirit babies think about us trying a different way to conceive after needing medical intervention before. Each baby is different. Right? So your body can change and heal after pregnancies. So what I would say is you're definitely welcome to, if you want to try something, if you want to try IVF when you conceive naturally the first time, if you want to try less medical intervention after having a lot of medical intervention, you totally can, they're saying, but just come to it from that place of without fear, like love and curiosity, and don't hold anything bad, release anything negative around having to have had that help. Here's their theme. Who cares if you needed help? They're saying, like, you got us here. It doesn't matter how we're conceived. Like, nobody's gonna, like, it's kind of like they're showing me, like, when people used to say, like, back in the day, right? Like, oh, how'd you guys meet? We met online. Like, and like, no, everybody meets online, right? Like, everybody has dating partners and stuff like that. Like, things will change over time. So the kind of a collective fear or worry, or like what I'm hearing is like secrecy even, or embarrassment a little bit. It really is going, hey, body, hey, medicine, thank you so much. And we're going to try this different way now. We still love and appreciate and know that that's there to support us if needed. And we're going to move forward in this way. What I'm hearing specifically also is you have to like clear any fear or thought that it can't happen that way just because of what's happened in the past, right? So honoring that you're a new kind of this is a new way for you and you're willing to try and go forward with a curiosity and a love. That said, what my guides are saying is sometimes bodies always need support every single time, right? So if that is your body, be okay with that, welcome that, support that, right? Receive that help, receive that support. They really don't mind. Like coming in all those ways. They understand that it's a lot for you guys and that, sometimes your preference is to not go through the medications or the hormones or the tests or all those things. They understand that. And you're more than willing to try a different way. But even if it doesn't work or you have to go through those ways just for various reasons, really honor your process. Every process is unique and special for how they come in. They do not care what you use to get them in. They say from from turkey baster on, they said, we do not care. We just want to be here. And part of your journey is letting go of all the ways you thought it would look, and honoring how it actually needs to look for them to come in and for you to bring them in, right? So to honor what is true and what is present and what is here. Yeah. Okay. Whew. Okay. B says, "Hello, Jessica. Is there anything our spirit babies or this new crew want us to do prior to them being here? I'll keep it general to see what comes up." Yeah. Immediately they said play. So they want you to. So when we play, if you ever watch kids play, like you lose that sense of time. They want you to do something or find something or get into a flow state. So that could be running for some people, that could be art, that could be dance, that could be writing, that could be creating or making things, but they want you to find a place where you can easily get into flow, where you can kind of lose the sense of time and really connect in with yourself. They want you to have this space because often when they're here, you're going to be able to be in a flow state with them. And if you're too rigid, if you're too, scheduled, or if you're too like this, too boxy energy, they're saying to me, these children could break you. So they want you to be able to easily have daily practices, if not weekly practices, that let you be in a flow state. Journaling, cards, dancing, movement, swimming. It can be multiple ones. It can be one that you really are drawn to, but find something that allows you to, when you get kind of stuck or rigid or hard or confused or whatever, I can go to this practice. I can go for this walk. I can do this thing. I can talk to this person. And it allows me to kind of remember to stay in the flow. Flow has been coming up a lot recently, and how my guides always show it to me is like when I was resisting the flow, I was like in this riverbed and I was like hanging on by one fingernail. I was like 99% in. And it's about trust, right? They're like, trust, like, let go. We will guide you around the rocks. We will flow you to where you need to be. You don't need to work that hard at this, right? So allow yourself to come into that flow state. Yeah, if you have ideas in the chat of things that get you in the flow state now, if you're one of those people that's kind of already tapped into that, I'd love to hear them because I always love new inspiration. Okay. Oh, it's 1:11. What did I say? I'd go till 1:30. So I need to ground us. This is channeling math. So I'm probably going to go till about 1:15 and then I'll sum everybody up. Okay. So Rachel says, what messages do spirit babies have for the fear one might have regarding running out of time? Um, yeah, running out of time. Yeah. So behind that fear is this deep love for them. And so welcome in the fear when it shows up, just as guilt shows up, just as all those other kind of scary emotions show up. But then let it go out the back door, right? And say, I am deeply in love with this idea of becoming a mother, in love with this idea of becoming a parent, and I trust in divine timing, right? So when you accept that, because when you are working with fear and running out of time, essentially what they're showing me is like, you've let fear in to your house and there's like the neighbor that like won't leave. They're like, and another thing, and how old are you, and is it you're a geriatric pregnancy, I mean, and did you know that there's a higher risk of this, and they're just going to go on and on and on, right? So you have to gently say, oh goodness, my good, okay, great to hear that, thank you so much, I'll write that down. And there's the door, right? Because you want to come back to this place of I'm in divine timing, everything is happening exactly as it should be. When you're holding that energy, then you are more motivated and able to move in that flow of doing what you need to do to bring them in, whatever that is, right? Maybe you want to freeze your eggs, maybe you want to look at donors, maybe you want to, look at adoption, like maybe you want to look at all these different options, right? Like just a note on adoption too. Spirit babies can come in many different forms. They don't necessarily have to come through you, your own physical body. They can come through other forms, right? Which is why we have donor sperms, donor eggs, donor embryos, right? That is a container for them, right? And they say some people are really adamant about wanting it to be their DNA. And that is totally up to you, they're saying, but their soul is what's most important. And you being their parent is what's most important. And again, like they talked about things fading away, how they come in, whose DNA they have, so to speak, will be less and less important as you raise them and love them. You'll still want to honor their ancestors and where they came from, and a gratitude towards the ability to have them be created for you in this way. But they really kind of want to eliminate any worries or fears about that. However they come in is perfect, they say. I love that. Okay. Let's see how many. Oh, okay. I think I can do these last three. Okay. So Was wondering if the new crew, I love that you guys are calling them that, could provide advice, wisdom regarding a partner not wanting to bring in another spirit baby or anymore. I think we already talked about that. Um, not wanting to bring another spirit baby or anymore. Yes, they're saying we kind of talked about that. Honor where they are, grieve the sadness around it. And then what I'm also hearing is and ask if you can revisit it, right? So and at the utmost extreme, if it's deeply important to you to have more children, you could consider other partnerships, right? You could consider um, moving forward and bringing them in other ways. But if you're with this partner and you're in that relationship and it's not something they want, they're saying like you can't force it. Yeah. You have to honor where they are. And sometimes, people do that, right? They get divorced or they leave their partner and they find a new partner, right? So even that's a kind of a bigger topic to open, but we're less bound by the traditional sense of one partner for the whole entire life if it no longer serves what you want, right? You have to consider your family, you have to consider other things as well, but there are ways to move forward and still invite in more children if that is a calling that you feel, right? But to me, it really feels like that is a nucleus for other things in the partnership, and you can use that as a way to figure out how can we talk about other things and how can we get on the same page, alignment, meet each other halfway, right? Yeah. Okay. Any messages for when you don't have a partner with whom to have children yet and really imagining having children with a partner and not solo? Yes. So, Alana, you can ask your spirit babies to bring them your daddy, right? If you really want to do it with a partner, start to imagine and tell your spirit baby, do a little meditation with them and say, what kind of partner do you want? And help bring them to me and give me ideas about where to meet them, right? They might show you like images or sensations or feelings of like where to meet them. Every time you go on a date with somebody, right? Ask your spirit baby for a sign. Like if they say this word or if they do this thing or if something like this happens or we see, 444 right on our way to the date, like this is a good sign, right? Like work with them to help bring them into your life and also really hold open that you're ready to meet this person, that you're ready to do this, right? I feel a little bit here sometimes when you want this, it's kind of like, oh, but I need slash want this. Remember that there are other options and other ways. And sometimes, even if we don't want to be a solo parent, what we're holding is the energy that we don't want that. And so it will stay with you and travel with you until you honor it's okay, right? Like I'm not holding any resistance towards that. I'm not saying that that's bad and mine is better. That's a little bit of what I see is that I really honor that this is what I want. It's kind of like you feel like you might be fated towards that, if else. So just say, I honor and know that this is what I want. I want this partnership. And then the spirit babies are saying, and why? Why do you want this partnership, right? Because yes, to bring them in, but also there's so much more that comes with a parent. A partner, a marriage, all those kinds of things. So really think about what it is that you want out of that partnership, in addition to them being able to provide children for you and with you as a family. What else do you want for yourself out of partnership? Yeah, beautiful. Okay. All right. We'll end with this one. What messages do spirit babies have for older mothers and older mothers to be supporting them coming earthside? Myself included. So, one I hear is really take good care of yourself, right? So, you're wiser, you've lived a lot longer, you've been through a lot of stuff, but continue to like tend to yourself, right? So, you want to be healthy, have longevity for when they're here, right? You want to be able to run with them and play with them. So, making sure that you are healthy and whole mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically. So, really taking good care of yourself there, right? This goes for everybody, but especially for ones that are like, like this is what I hear about, like wanting to be able to do those things. And then also like letting go of the concept of older mother. You just are a mother. You just are at this age. This is the collective energy, the geriatric pregnancy stuff that kind of comes at us. There's no right age to be a mother. They say period on that. I love that. Okay. Um, Okay, and there's one more. So, what did the 2026 Spirit Babies say about honoring their softness, gentleness, and creating a space for them where they will never have to feel the way I did? Oh, yeah. Um, you're the soft, sensitive one in the family and have been called too sensitive. So, you you will likely create that space for them from your own experiences of knowing that, right? And experiencing that, you will be like extra protective. But what they want you to build strength in, right, is how to talk to other people, especially like family members. Like, so then, like, if your mom says, like, oh God, your kid's so sensitive, like you now have the voice to say to your parents, to family members, to community members, to schools, things like that, like that you're going to advocate for them. And so to really work on how would you like to speak and advocate and talk about them? How would you like to explain the sensitivity, right? That there's nothing wrong with it, just the way that they are, how beautiful and wonderful it is that they have this deep, knowing and knowledge, and to really speak highly of it, to almost like they're saying, like, do PR for us, mom, to really kind of like raise the awareness, to talk amongst your friends now, to talk amongst your community and family members now around, the beautifulness and the specialness that is sensitivity, right? That is the slow, softer way, right? This is the way they're doing things now, right? This is better for the nervous system now, right? There's so much research out there that shows about how to create this, safe place. And you can respond to them in that way as well, right? And then the funny thing they say is like, yeah, you can do all those things, or the one spirit baby is like, or you can just say, I'm their mom. I decide, right? Like, this is how I parent, and to stand firmly in that place of I don't need to explain myself other than I know my child best, right? Thank you, no, thank you for your opinions, right? To be protective of them, right? To protect that space, to give what to say what you couldn't say when you were a little one. Okay. Wow. Whew. Thank you so much. Flow states are like mosaics, baking and crafts. Love that. Who got into sourdough over 2020? Um, Baking and cooking with the toddlers. That is so fun. Love that so much. I really like I really like crafting, and I like coloring and things like that. So anything else you guys can think of to stay in your flow state, please share it amongst your friends, your community, talk about this with other people, kind of start to have that discussion now about how things are changing, how you're breaking these cycles so that it gets out into the collective and that more and more people are used to hearing this kind of language and this kind of information so that when they come up against it, it's not such a hard reality for them. It's a, oh, yeah, I've heard about this. Oh, yeah, I understand that. Right. Okay. All right. So, woo, this has been soaking up all of our beautiful messages and channeling, and I'm going to burn this tonight. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to close the circle. I'm going to release the energy. But I do want you guys to say a little wish that you'd like to imbue into this. Um, and and really kind of let your voices be heard, let your thoughts be heard, whatever it is. We're going to put this into the fire tonight. So just coming back into your comfortable seat. Again, maybe doing a little body scan quickly, noticing where you feel or sense or notice anything that's changed or different or the same. Deep gratitude to the 2025 and new crew babies for showing up today. Deep gratitude for all of you for showing up today. And for those who are with us in spirit, and for those who will be watching later. We hope that the messages of love, hope, and healing have been received. We hope that you can forge a new pathway. We hope that you can be your own light on the darkest day of the year and guide other ones towards the light as well. And imagining us in that circle again, the fire now, embers glowing and warm, holding hands once again, and saying your wish for this Yuletide spell of prosperity, of abundance. Holding that in your heart, in your mind, in your spirit. And we thank the spirit babies for showing up today, and we release them to where they are needed most. We thank your guides, allies, and awakened ancestors for showing up today, and we release them to where they are needed most. And lovingly call back your energy. Returning all the tendrils of self back home. I lovingly call back my energy from the collective today. And returning people's energy to them. I lovingly return anyone's energy to them in the collective. What's mine is mine and stays with me. What's no longer mine or no longer serves me is gently, beautifully, gracefully released into Mother Earth. And it is so. Aho. So gently come back into the space. Maybe have a sip of water. And what I like to say now is make sure you're nice and grounded, right? So you might want to pat your body, maybe do a little movement after this. Do stay hydrated. So please drink lots of water. Since we collectively channel today, you might feel a little extra thirsty. So take good care of yourself. You might want to have just a slow reemergence back into your everyday. If you can even just take 5 minutes before you go back out into the fray to just breathe or journal, or just, say your own prayers of gratitude. Just do that. And then this will integrate, they're saying, over the next 13 days. So all the way till the 2nd of January. So one tradition that you can do tonight, if you like, it's called 13 Wishes, is you can write down 13 wishes on 13 little pieces of paper and then fold them up and don't look at them. And then each night until the first of the year, right, you burn one. And then on the second, the one you're left with is for you. It's your main intention. The other ones will be taking care of the universe, God, spirit, and you can put that on your altar. This is just a way to anchor in. There's many ways. You can make a little Yule blessing like I did. You can create or draw, but in these next 13 days till the new year, really allow this to integrate. So if you get signs, symbols, messages, you can always send me an email and let me know. I'm here to support you. And then I will be putting in the wrap-up email this video, as well as some coupon codes for discounted sessions for January. And I will do a little drawing of everybody's name, and I will announce the winner in that as well for the free session. Okay. 1:30. I can't believe I ended on time, you guys. I'm proud of myself. And I just wish you all a lovely, beautiful solstice. I love you all so much. Thank you for the hearts. That is so cute. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Please take good care of yourselves, and I hope to see you all soon, okay? Bye. Happy solstice. Love you guys. Peace out.